All right, so we are live. We are joined by my man Trevor here, doing egresses out in Colorado. Sorry, man, I kind of gave it away, but real quick, man, just introduce yourself, give us a quick rundown, name your company, what you guys all do, all that good stuff.
Yeah, my name's Trevor, and basically, it's like you said, we do egresses out in Colorado, pretty much along the whole Front Range. Yeah, we'll pretty much go anywhere from Greeley to Pueblo. But yeah, Eric reached out to us on Facebook Messenger. We gave him a shot, and yeah, he already paid. He paid for himself within like the first few weeks. So
Yeah,
we're
man, I know you've had some crazy success and some fast success too. So I'm just super excited to be chatting with you today, man. And I think there's going to be a lot of really good stuff in here. And dude, I know you're younger too, right? Like we're actually pretty similar in age. Like how long have you been at this thing, man?
yeah, like a year and a half. We didn't really know what we were doing when we started, so we just learned as we went.
That's
But
crazy. A year
kind
and
of
a
sounds bad, but I do have construction experience.
half. Yeah, no, I know you've been at this longer, but running your own business for a year and a half, man, that's crazy. And construction years, that's nothing. It's like you started yesterday. That's crazy. Um, but cool. I mean, let's jump into it, man. Like you were already doing some Facebook stuff before we got started, right? Like you weren't new to this online advertising game. You were doing some Facebook ads and Instagram stuff like that. So like what would you say, like what were the big challenges you were facing when you started working with us?
Hmm. Uh, well, I actually didn't really face any challenges. Uh, Basically, we just started on the remodeling side. We thought we were going to do egresses and do remodeling, and then quickly found out that doing 20 bathroom, kitchen, and basement bids and then doing 20 egress bids isn't really efficient. So, I think we made a good move in just honing in on the egresses. So I'd say that was the bigger challenge, was just learning how to sort through bids um, and basically the kind of mindset I always have is even if, like, how people go through your messenger system and you'll pre-qualify them. Well, a lot of times I'll go back to the people who weren't even pre-qualified and I'll hit them up. So and
Yeah.
I actually have gotten a few people doing that. So yeah, just for other people who are trying to make the system work, it's just you gotta treat the messenger inbox like whenever people hit you up, you gotta hit them up right away. Like, or else if you hit them up tomorrow, then you might lose that lead.
Totally. Yeah. Timing is so important. And I love what you said too. We've had a couple guys on now. And that's why I love doing the spotlight interviews because the stories are so different, but we also get to see some of those dots connecting. And we had a couple people say they go through the messenger inbox and even those leads that maybe didn't meet those pre-qualification steps, they're still sending them a message, just like you said you were. So I absolutely love hearing that, man. And you said you niched down more, right? Like how much of a difference do you feel like that made for you? Because some guys want to do it all. Some guys think niching down is really important.
Yeah, so I was kind of thinking like, 50-50, 50 egress, 50 others. And so I think it's better just to find a trade that you're good at and just become a specialist in that area. You can if you get really good at just doing egresses or just doing like railing or only doing kitchens or only doing basements, you're gonna probably get a lot more customers and it's gonna be a lot less headache. So yeah, and because we went that direction, we within that first week we were closing egress deals already.
I know. Yeah, it was crazy. They said you had some fast success. Um, so dude, we talked a little like tactically right there, right? Going in the messenger system, doing some of those other things, making sure we're following up right away with these leads. One part that I feel like is missed oftentimes in this remodeling contractor space is mindset and how you're approaching things. Like, were there any mindset shifts you had or have had at some point that you feel like really helped you see success with this system or in general?
Hmm. Well, I don't think there was any mindset change. I think my mind has already been shifted and how to market to people and how to act that way. But maybe for somebody who doesn't know how to do that or isn't used to it, is like you just have to have a mindset change to It's like, hey, I always got to be checking on these leads. I always got to be following up with people. One thing that actually did change was I would used to follow up with people, but I'd only do it once or twice, and then I want to do it again. But your philosophy was just bother them until they die. So and like so I started doing that, and because I did that, I saw a higher success rate, and so that just made me realize that people are busy, or people, and a lot of them I think really actually appreciate just how persistent you are, because I think other companies have that mindset that if I follow up a couple times and they don't call back, then I'm done. And so
We see that mindset a lot.
reality, yeah, the reality is your number is probably coming up as a number they don't recognize. And so a lot of people don't answer that anyways. So you got to keep calling over and over, and eventually you make, who's this person that keeps calling me? Like,
Yeah. No, just like you said, man, a lot of times people actually appreciate it. So yeah, I couldn't have said it better. That was huge, man. That was really good. So give the people what they want to know. I know we've mentioned a couple of times you've had some fast success. You've been working with us now, what, like now about 2 months, I think 2 full months. Like what if you just had a ballpark, what would you say that total revenue generated from working with us these last couple months has been?
revenue probably somewhere around like the 30,000 range. So yeah, probably looking at closing, have closed at least 10 to 15 jobs somewhere in there. I didn't count, but I stopped counting after a little while, but I had them all written down. It's probably somewhere around the 10 to 15 range.
Incredible.
So maybe like one, or maybe like 2 to 3 jobs closing a week. Um, but the part that made it overwhelming is it's just from word of mouth, and people we already did was also pouring in. So it's just like, man.
Yeah. No, totally. They have that crossover effect as well.
Yeah.
That's incredible, man, too, because you're on our smallest system, right? We're not spending crazy amounts to do that either, which is crazy. It's super exciting. Um, and 30,000 to a lot of people may not sound like actually all that crazy, but you were telling me before the reason you wanted to niche down to egress is because your margins are pretty incredible on those projects, right?
Yeah, so at 30,000, we're probably looking somewhere around like 13 to 15 grand to profit,
Yeah.
somewhere in that range.
You don't quite see that as often with like kitchen remodeling or bathroom remodeling.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
actually not too sure of the numbers there. My dad probably is more versed in that area.
yeah. We typically see guys on average around 30%. Some guys are obviously higher, some lower, but that's incredible, man. I absolutely love it. So you're young, man. You have an amazing mindset. You've already done some incredible things. You have an amazing story as well. I know we didn't get into that too much and we don't necessarily need to, but what advice like would you give to somebody that's looking to grow their company, looking to set more appointments and just grow in general?
Hmm. Yeah, the advice that I could give them to grow their business is aces in their places, put the people in the position that they're the best at. Get really good at organizing everything, being orderly about it. Find don't be afraid to pay your employees more, so you can get loyal people. And then yeah, we can loop back to what I said before. Is just be in the inbox all the time, and even outside of that, like kind of mess around with um, learning new ways of closing. Like, and I think the other thing is you'll probably deal with a lot of homeowners or a lot of construction guys that are a lot older than you. So you might come across that pride element. It's like, oh, I'm not gonna ask this kid for info.
Yeah, I feel like that's something, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that's one of those things you embody that I do as well is you're like you were saying, mess around with different ways of closing. You're always learning. Am I right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter who it's from. If it's right, it's right. So find the person who's already invented the wheel and just model after them. Like that's kind of been part of my philosophy. Is somebody out there is already way better at it than me. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find who that is, and I'm going to figure out what they did to get where they got. And so, but at the same time, like I said, aces in their places, because then, like before you know it, you're just so bogged down. Like you can't do everything at once. And so I think that's one of the things for my business model that I'm having to learn is learn how to hand things off to people so that I can do what I'm the best at.
Absolutely. I don't think you said some of those things fast. I hope some people rewind this and go watch that again because you said a few really good things there really, really fast. That was awesome, man. So I think we're kind of wrapping this thing up here, man. I mean, like, who would you recommend works with Pathfinder over here?
Yeah. Well, basically, you guys are just you just stick to remodeling, right?
Yeah, just remodeling and contractors. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that anybody who doesn't want, um, like for me personally, I like the idea of marketing and going through my box and trying to close people. But a lot of contractors don't like that headache. Like they want pre-qualified leads that can get them to the place that where they want the quickest, and they don't want to deal with, well, I got to go do these 20 bids and I might only close three and waste all this time. And some contractors even charge for doing bids because of that.
Mhm.
At least that's what I think why they're doing it. So I would say people who want pre-qualified leads who are looking to spend the least amount of time messing through people who aren't serious. They're the people who should really be going with your system, which is probably 99% of contractors.
Yeah, it's crazy you mentioned that, man. We actually have a guy in Kansas City who I'm hoping to have on this soon to do an interview with, just crushing it. Just insane, man. Similar results to you. And they charge for estimates, right? They're very, very high end, charge for their estimates as well. So cool. I love that, man. Well, I think that's all I got, man. I appreciate you coming on. And yeah, I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bro.
See ya.
Nice talking to you. Thanks for all your help, man.